The following has been brought to you by SJP World Media.
Clash of the Castle 3 weeks away. Is Trish Stratus coming back to the WWE? Let's find out.
You're listening to In the Corner with BenNy Mac. Unfiltered, uncensored, and unforgiving. Here's the man in the corner, BenNy Mac.
Welcome back to In the Corner. We've had a good couple of weeks. Heat wave after heat wave in this country. Let's face it, we could all do without it. Seems to be cooling up though, so hopefully we won't have too much of this left to go. Typical British person, I know. Moan that it's too cold and then we moan that it's too warm, but you know, you need it to be a certain temperature where you're not used to it, are we? At least I'm not anyway. Hope you're all doing well. Thank you very much for your support on the show, SJP World Media. Very much appreciate it. New shows coming out this week, I think, on SJP World Media. Got some new shows coming out and new presenters being added all the time, new concepts, new shows, and yeah, it's going to be cool. Hope you can lock it in and keep following us, really. So much appreciated. Yeah. As I mentioned at the top of the show there, Clash of the Castle, 3 weeks away. We're still building towards that. Obviously, as it stands right now, Roman Reigns versus Drew McIntyre, and Drew McIntyre has been an absolute advocate for having a show in this country, and it looks like it's happening. Obviously, it is happening in 3 weeks' time. If you got tickets, I want to know actually if you got. I looked at the tickets. My God, the prices. I'd love to have gone, but unfortunately, maybe next time. Hopefully, maybe in November if everything goes well. But yeah, let me know if you have tickets. I'd love to get some video footage from you whoever's going to see Clash of the Castle in 3 weeks. Do you know what? It would have been really good because it's pretty much my birthday week that week and it's on the 3rd of September, so it would have been awesome to go. But yeah, tweet me at In the Corner WWE. Let me know what you think, what the experience is like. You know, just the whole atmosphere. I want to feel it, you know. I mean, I'm going to be watching live on the WWE Network, which is going to be so cool because one, it's in this country. And two, it won't be on at stupid o'clock, will it? It'll be on a decent time. I'm assuming around 8 p.m. here in the UK. I don't know, actually. I haven't looked. I should have looked before I came on the show, really, but there we go. But yeah. But on top of that, before we get into the Raw recap, so little change in how this show is going to be going, hopefully. And hopefully it will stay like this. So Tuesdays, it will come out like it is now, and we'll do the Raw recap and any news and stuff that's going on. And then on Saturday, we'll do the SmackDown recap and any news going on as well, and also we'll have the specials going on, obviously leading into the Clash of the Castle, our predictions, our hopes, our dreams. Is it going to be our WrestleMania Clash of the Castle? Do you know what? I was watching some clips earlier today and the UK crowd stuff, some of the chants, and the one I actually saw was the crowd singing, hey Bailey, what you want to be my... I'm not going to sing it because it'd be awful. Need more followers for that. But yeah, no, it was really cool to see. And you know, we're mental over here when it comes to wrestling because we don't get it, do we? We only get it maybe if we're lucky twice a year. Obviously with COVID and stuff, we haven't had it for a good couple of years. Obviously we have our local promotions and stuff, and there's nothing wrong with that. But WWE, I mean, I went in 2009. I went to a Raw SmackDown ECW taping, and it was brilliant. I loved it. It was a great atmosphere. Now that I was on upper tier, but you know, it was still a great atmosphere, and the amount of people that are there. Obviously, they're there for the same reason you are, so you can sort of gel with these people very quickly. I'm going to turn my fan on, by the way, so you might hear that now because it's so warm in this room. There we go. Oh, so much better. But yeah, hopefully it's going to be a good show. It's shaping up to be. The only match I know for 100% is obviously Roman versus Drew. We do have the Bailey, Dakota Kai, Io Sky taking on Alexa Bliss, Bianca Belair, and Asuka. We've also got the WWE SmackDown Women's Tag Team Tournament going on at the moment. So it's going to be interesting to see how that plays out. We've got some women coming over from NXT 2.0 to compete in the tournament. Dakota Kai and Io Sky have already gone to the next round, and they will compete, I think, against Asuka and sorry, who was it? Oscar and I just said it. I literally just said it. Oscar and Alexa Bliss. My brain is gone. I'm reading all this stuff in front of me. I've written down and not actually paying attention to what I'm talking about. But yeah, there's a tag team tournament going on at the moment, and should be good. There's also a, I believe, tomorrow night. Tomorrow night there's a special Heatwave event for NXT. Based on this week's Raw, there's been a lot going on in creative and stuff. So obviously backstage, we haven't really touched upon that on the show. I'm going to try and bring in a guest for that, because somebody else who knows the numbers a bit better than me and stuff like that. So we're trying to get that sorted so we can talk about the actual backstage financial side of things and what's going on. And hopefully that'll be on an episode soon. But yeah, I feel I can't do it justice by myself is what I'm getting at. And also, but yeah, Clash of the Castle 3 weeks away, and we also have Trish Stratus coming back to WWE apparently. Now, whether this is because Raw next week and SmackDown next week is going to be SmackDown this week, I believe, and then Raw next week is going to be they're all coming from Canada basically. But according to Sportskeeda.com, Trish made an announcement on her website on Twitter. She'll be making a return to WWE this weekend. Canada will host WWE this upcoming week. And Stratus will be there in their hometown hero, obviously, as of now. Stratus will be on the non-televised WWE live events on Saturday and Sunday, apparently. She's also mentioned that Alexa Bliss, Kevin Owens, and Dominic Mysterio will be on the show. Now, I don't know whether this is a actual, maybe it's just for the weekend because it's Canada. A lot of people are talking about her coming back full-time. And, maybe starting on the house shows is a good way to dip your toe back into this lifestyle. If she is going to, I don't know. Or is it literally, I think maybe I'll believe it when I see it, is what I'm getting at. Because, let's face it, it's in Canada. Why wouldn't you have Trish Stratus there, to be fair? It makes perfect sense, doesn't it? So, but yeah, she's going to be on the shows this weekend. And maybe she'll make an appearance on Raw next week. I have no idea. As it is, obviously, in Canada. So, yeah, hopefully it will be let's see. She's returning to WWE this weekend, but is she going to be coming back for a full-time schedule? We'll find out. Okay, so Raw recap. Let's get into it, ladies and gents. Now, Raw this week overall for me was, don't get me wrong, 3-hour show still. Had its ups and downs, but there was a lot more positives for me than there was negatives. So let's hope that WWE, whoever's doing, if Triple H, there's all rumors going around. Apparently, Vince McMahon's still doing creative. I don't know, but as far as I'm concerned, Triple H is doing it. Anything will, it was at Vince Russo apparently said that Vince McMahon's still running it really from the back. But we'll see. I doubt it, but we'll see with everything going on legally and everything. It makes sense for Vince McMahon to not be associated with a company that he built. Let's face it. Along with others. Vince McMahon had the vision and he implemented it, but he had a lot of people coming up, whether from the wrestlers to the backstage to everybody that works at WWE. Let's face it. He couldn't have done it, but he can't wrestle himself, can he? But there we go. Anyway, some highlights I want to take from Raw this week. Starting off with Dolph Ziggler. I don't care what anybody says. I'm 100% a Dolph Ziggler fan. Have been for a long time. Loved his cash-in. It's still one of my favourite moments in WWE history for me. Him cashing in that. I've said it before on the show. I loved it. But he takes on Theory this week, one-on-one. To be honest, a great match between these two. Theory's still trying to do his old ways. Tries to cheat. Puts his feet on the ropes going for the cover, but the ref catches him finally. But ultimately, a great reversal from Theory leads to him hitting the A-Town down. It was a great match between those two. And Dolph Ziggler, for me, like I said, a workhorse for WWE. And hopefully now, maybe, obviously there's a lot of guys and girls that deserve a lot more than they have done already. And so hopefully Ziggler is one of these people that can benefit from the current creative team, hopefully. So, and Dolph Ziggler's good. His promo skills are pretty good, but sometimes I feel like he needs a bit tweaking here and there. I can't quite place my finger on it, but in terms of his ring work, he's been freaking epic, to be fair. And he did start off in the Spirit Squad, in fairness, so he had a bit of an uphill battle, didn't he? Let's face it. But he's excellent, and he's been absolutely amazing. Hopefully in the next 12 to 18 months, we see some big things. To be fair, with Theory as well, I know he's the heel thing going on at the moment, which is fine. He's a brilliant heel. hopefully he can carry that over into a good next year run or something. When he's going to cash in, I mean, we might see a Clash of the Castle. We could see it at any point. That is the point of the Money in the Bank, isn't it, really? My worry is that we get to a degree, maybe Drew does walk out WWE Undisputed Universal Champion, but I can see a cash-in happening, or maybe an attempt. Can you imagine Drew wins it and then loses it on the same night in his essentially his home country? That'd be good for TV, don't get me wrong. But the backlash from the crowd, I don't know. We'll see how the UK fans respond to Theory, I suppose. I think he's good in the ring and he's good on the mic, to be fair. And he plays that obnoxious little shit role. He is a little shit role very well. So hopefully it's for everybody. There's certain talent on the roster now that I feel will benefit from Triple H being, head of creative, if that is the case, which I believe it is. So we'll move on from that. Hard to believe that this was the first time these two met, but Bobby Lashley versus AJ Styles for the United States Championship. I can see Bobby Lashley now having a great run with the United States Championship, then leading maybe down the line. Very quickly before I go into this match, I just realised I forgot something. There's rumours apparently. SmackDown is obviously on Fox in the US, and Raw is on USA. Now, Fox generally, obviously that's where Roman was because he was the Universal Champion over there. Ever since becoming the Undisputed Universal Champion, he's mainly been on SmackDown, and apparently USA have been kicking off about, or maybe both networks have, they want their own individual champion. So there's rumours of, especially with Karrion Kross coming back, with other things going on, that we might see a title split. I don't want to see a title split because we've just put the damn things together. Do you know what would be good? Bring that big gold belt back. You know what I'm on about. The former WCW Heavyweight Championship, the former World Heavyweight Championship. I'd love to see that back. And do you know what? If they unveiled that as maybe, say, Raw's Championship or SmackDown's Championship, the crowd response, I can 98% sure, if they bring that big gold belt back, the response in the crowd will be absolutely up there. I reckon it'll be a great pop, and it'll be amazing to see that championship back. It's got so much history to it. Obviously, there's so much more than this, but I'm just going to throw it out there very quickly. Obviously, Ric Flair, World Heavyweight Champion, 14-time, etc., 16-time World Champion, sorry. It's one of those bouts that I feel should come back. When they introduced the Universal Championship, I didn't like the red belt, to be honest. I didn't really like it. This big WWE logo, I get it. It's good for promotion stuff. But I miss some of the old school belts. Maybe I'm stuck in my ways a little bit. Anyway, I digress. Bobby Lashley versus AJ Styles, apparently first time ever. I watched a bit of TNA back in the day. I assume their times didn't overlap with each other, because by the time Bobby Lashley went there, I assume AJ would have been in Japan, with the Bullet Club and everything going on. So, they may have just missed each other. I thought these two had faced each other, but according to WWE, they'd never faced each other before. Lashley puts the US title on the line. The match is good. The match is really good, actually, to be honest. It's better than good. The only thing that let it down for me was Miz and Ciampa do get involved. AJ's on the outside. Just when Miz is going to attack AJ, Dexter Lumis, again, makes another appearance through the crowd. Security stop him before he can do anything. And they're portraying him as a fired superstar, which he kind of was, I guess. But obviously, if he was genuinely doing this every week, then they wouldn't show him on TV, would they? So, it's a part of a story. It seems to be that Dexter Lumis is maybe gunning for AJ Styles. That's what it seems like's happening. When this comes to a head, I have no idea, to be honest. Will we see any more next week? Will we see a jump maybe at Clash of the Castle? I don't know what's going to happen with this Dexter Lumis thing, but he seems to be zeroing in on AJ Styles, which could be a great match, actually, to be fair. Dexter Lumis, he's got that very Iceman cold, not Fang McFrost, obviously, for those who know, but he's got that very Iceman look about him, like, very straight-faced. The hair, the way it's combed, the mustache and everything. The mustache is combed and everything. It seems very precision sort of thing. So what's going to happen, I don't know. In NXT, he had a good run. I believe he was engaged in NXT or married in NXT. Again, I didn't really watch much of 2.0. I've seen bits and bobs of it, so I know a few of these people. I need to get back into it, really. But when you're watching 3 hours of Raw and then 2 hours of SmackDown, that's a lot of wrestling, And so, yeah. But yeah, AJ Styles comes close to winning, but after a massive spear from Bobby Lashley, Bobby retains the US Championship. And as again, going back to what I said, it would be quite cool to see maybe Lashley have a great run with this title, have him sort of dominate for a while, and then, like I said, you can make anybody really, but I know there's only so many people that can be world champion, right? So Bobby Lashley is getting great response from the crowd at the moment, the Hurt Lock and everything. It's brilliant. He's doing some great stuff, and it was great to see Bobby Lashley as WWE champion as well. So yeah, but we'll see whether these bouts get split. Apparently that's the way. Maybe there's been meetings with networks saying, because obviously you've actually got wrestling on opposing networks now. As beforehand, everything was on USA Network, I believe. So now Raw's on USA and SmackDown's on Fox. You've actually genuinely got two networks competing. So ironically, WWE have made legitimate competition amongst themselves now, because you've actually got one show on a different network to the other. So maybe we could see a different way. I also saw a rumor or hope possibly could we see Eric Bischoff come back to WWE, maybe help with creative. I'll tell you what, Triple H, Paul Heyman and Eric Bischoff, those three get their heads together, maybe with Triple H being the sort of the ultimate, because I think you feel as what happened with WCW was you had too many people calling the shots. You need one person to go yes, no, and have these ideas thrown around with a bunch of people, but ultimately you have one guy. So Triple H, I feel like, is a guy that will legitimately listen to your idea and actually take on maybe some of the elements of it and sort of mold it in a certain way. So I feel like sometimes you need someone to, otherwise you have too many people trying to do the same, too many different things at once, and it can be a bit convoluted. So yeah, if Eric Bischoff came backstage, that'd be amazing. Paul Heyman, obviously, great on the mic, took a great bump at SummerSlam. So yeah, who knows what's going to happen? Let's see what happens, I guess. So I want to move on quickly because Kevin Owens and Drew McIntyre, they both cut brilliant promos. Drew saying that he's got a bit of back injury and stuff, and he said that's true. Because I've been carrying 20 men for the last, I think it was 5 years, which was a damn sort of moment. And then Kevin Owens coming out, and it seems like Kevin Owens is allowed to be Kevin Owens now. Whether it's just a long time coming, to be fair. They both cut brilliant promos. I think we're starting to see now things change in WWE. And not dramatically, but subtly we're starting to see them happen, especially in this episode of Raw. And I believe like long-term stories are starting to be in sort of, we could see Kevin Owens in 6 months be a challenger maybe. So if Drew wins, we could maybe see, even if Drew doesn't win, we can see Kevin Owens possibly next for Roman, possibly. Again, we might have this title split. We might have a new title coming in. I don't know. This is just rumors at the moment. These are all speculation on my part, obviously. But yeah, I think we're starting to see some long-term sort of, we're laying the foundations for future stories by the looks of it, based on what I've seen on Raw. If you have a chance to see the full segment between Kevin Owens and Drew McIntyre, I recommend it. It was really good, really passionate. You can feel it. I felt it watching it. And the fact that Drew McIntyre says to Kevin Owens, I don't care if you're a prize fighter, a sports entertainer, whatever you are, let's just wrestle. And I don't think I've heard the wrestling word. If you hear it on WWE, it's very rare. It's the following contest. It's a sports entertainer. They don't call them wrestlers, and they haven't for a long time. And hopefully we'll get back to that sort of the wrestling of what made us all like, and the stories that go with it that we all liked when we were younger, and and our youngsters hopefully will get to see some great long-term stories. Not every story needs to be long, but sometimes you can just have them. Shawn Michaels, Chris Jericho, I want to say about, what was that, 2007-ish, 2008, 2009, something like that, maybe 2010. Had a great story leading all the way up, and I think it ended up culminating at was a great ladder match, wasn't it? I want to say No Mercy. It's been a while since I've watched it, but it was a great story. While Triple H was in charge of creative at NXT, we saw Tommaso Ciampa and Johnny Gargano. That was a great story between those two. That lasted 18 months overall. Now they sort of they would always sort of touch upon it, and they'd come back to it, and then they go away from it, and then they come back, and it was just really good. And eventually it came to to an end, but it was good. I didn't see that coming. I didn't see Tommaso turning on Johnny Gargano. I remember watching that NXT takeover, and I actually left the room. And all of a sudden, I heard the reaction in the living room. I was like, "What's going on? What's going on?" And then Tommaso Ciampa had rammed Johnny Gargano, and turned out I did not expect. I left the room thinking the show was over, and it wasn't. And they caught me off guard completely. So yeah, it was really good. Also talking about long-term stories, Seth and Riddle was due to take place at SummerSlam, and although at the time I was disappointed to not have this match, me and NGB said that we thought this could be possibly one of the matches of the night. The fact that we are seeing these encounters with Riddle and Seth now, I'm glad they didn't do it, and I can't wait to see these guys go one-on-one. So Riddle does make an appearance on Raw. He's supposed to be injured, or a stinger. They said he had. I think it was. I couldn't understand why they did that. If that was a story, maybe it was a genuine injury. Maybe it was something else, just to let him heal up, maybe for a couple of weeks. Who knows? But Riddle appears on the Tron with Seth in the ring from his home and delivers some good news. He's medically cleared, and he says he's gonna. Next time you see Seth Rollins, he's gonna. He's gunning for him basically. I was worried about Riddle when Orton went down injured, because I thought that he might get lost in the shuffle, especially with this new creative, everything going on with the company. But RK Bro is a great team, and with Randy out, Riddle for me has his stock has just soared. But yeah, I think Riddle's doing really well, and again, another future. He held his own against Roman and stuff like that. Had a great match on SmackDown about a month ago. So yeah, I can see Riddle being a player, in the next, even to be honest, in the next 3-4 months, in terms of, in that he's for me, he's on the cusp of main event, and I think going against someone like Seth Rollins is gonna make or break him, so to speak. Riddle's saying that he's going to be cleared. And when he sees Seth, he's going to get him, basically. As it turns out, Riddle was not home. He was backstage and basically caught out Seth Rollins. When his music hit, the crowd response was awesome. Manages to have a bit of a scrap with Seth. It almost turns bad for Riddle again, but it manages to reverse it. Seth ends up running away, and Riddle does pursue briefly through the crowd, then stops on the stairs, turns back, and a great crowd response. And I can't wait to see what these guys do. I mean, I will say, I feel that even 2 months ago, this is a kind of story that could have been on TV one week and just gone the next. So actually having it not happen at SummerSlam, I feel that Rollins-Riddle match, when it happens, it should be on a pay-per-view, I think, as well. Has potential to be a brilliant match and could set up future title matches and rivalries as well, because you can build up a rivalry, you can go away from it and bring it back maybe, a bit later. My final sort of note, really, Raw overall, I think I said it at the top of the show, really, to be honest with you. Raw overall this week, top to bottom, was a pretty decent show. Hopefully this is a sign of things to come. And it will, hopefully get better and better every week. It's not going to be like click your fingers and, it's going to be amazing. It's going to take time to build characters, stories, and see where this is going. In terms of like Clash at the Castle, I'm excited for that. Biggest pay-per-view we've had in this country probably since, I think it was sometime 93 or something like that. I mean, we used to have those pay-per-views like Rebellion and Insurrection and stuff, and they were good, but they were just stopgaps until you want to continue the story over in the States, wasn't it? So one thing I didn't mention was quickly is that the Judgment Day still sort of pursuing Edge, and or they vice versa. There's a bit of that going on. Obviously, with Raw being in Canada next week, Edge is going to be taking on Damian Priest one-on-one. Obviously, in Edge's hometown, that has the potential of being really good. I'm going to go out on a limb here very quickly and say I feel like maybe Dominic Mysterio, after the mistaken spear and everything going on, could potentially be. I mean, how cool would that be if he joined the Judgment Day, and then you have a story now of Ray trying to get Dominic to listen to reason and move him away from the Judgment Day. I know they've kind of teased it a bit, but to actually see it happen, that would be really cool. Damian Priest delivered a good promo on this week's show as well. And even though you feel like Finn Balor could be considered the leader of Judgment Day, no, I don't feel like any of them really are. And Damian Priest is just getting better on the mic and stuff. So great potential there. Great potential for Finn Balor as also. The match between, because Drew and McIntyre and Kevin Owens did have a match, it was really good. Usos got involved and it came back and forth, ended in a DQ. We're yet to see, we're building to Clash at the Castle, so what happens next week is anyone's guess, but I would say if you can see that promo between Drew and Kevin Owens, I would recommend seeing it. I might have a clip here, actually. Let's see if I can get this to work. There's a little bit here. This is just towards the end of the promo, I think.
I know exactly who the hell I am. Someone recently called me the Chosen One. I was the Chosen One 15 years ago. Then I got fired. Then I had to work my ass off, earn my way back to this company. I didn't call WWE. They called me, and I've worked my ass off every day since. I'm a two-time champion. I beat Brock Lesnar, Goldberg, Randy Orton, everyone that stood in my path. Don't you dare look me in the eye and pull that BS again.
I tell you what, if you have not seen it yet, and I would recommend watching that full segment. It was so good. It really was. One of my favourite moments was Riddle Seth. I can't wait to see this pan out. The AJ Styles Bobby Lashley match. It could main event any show, to be totally honest with you. They're both top class stars, so maybe we'll see more of that down the line. But for me, seeing Dolph Ziggler, like I said, workhorse, it's brilliant, and hopefully big things to come for everybody over there in WWE, and hopefully it's just going to get better. I'm hoping. I'm really optimistic about it getting better. But that's it for this week. Thank you very much for listening to the show here on SJP World Media. Thank you very much. Join me again, hopefully, it should be Friday for the SmackDown recap and any more news coming out. And soon we'll be doing the Clash at the Castle predictions. Get your predictions in soon. We'll do the full match card in about a week or two's time. Well, the week before Clash at the Castle. But thank you very much. This is BenNy Mac and In the Corner here on SJP World Media. See you soon.